In the Oromia region in eastern Ethiopia, hills rise as far as the eye can see, forming a series of contours until they end abruptly at Ethiopia's second largest city, Dawa. The country's center of commerce is buzzing with activities. Founded as a result of Ethiopia-Djibouti Railway, Dawa is now home to over 350,000 people from all over Ethiopia.
Its location is strategic. That's why the federal government selected this city as a city of the industry park.
This beautiful hilly city is, however, under constant threat of flash flooding. Flowing with contours and ridges through the hills is the Katu River and her tributaries, a bed of dry sand that awaits till the rainy season to roar. Few years after the founding of the Dawa city, the river divided the city into two distinct parts. Today, with the population multiplied several times over, the boundaries between man and nature have become breached. The river dwells among men, literally, and that is not the only problem.
If you go to the rural Dawa area, the total cultivated land is more than the cultivable one. Even a very slopey or areas with a very high gradient are cultivated. Even during a very, very rainy season, when there is a very good rain, the maximum yield that our farmers produce service for not for more than 4 or 5 months. So they buffer the rest 5 or 6 months by selling charcoal or fuel wood.
Following years of distraction from agricultural activities and trade in charcoal and firewood, these hills that stretch several kilometers are almost completely bare and barren, exposing the city down the valley to flooding. In September 2005, the Katu River killed over 200 people in the region and caused even more destruction in August the following year.
In 2006, the rain rained at midnight time. Everyone in the city, everybody in the city is sleeping, and the rain rains with at a time of 1 hour in the upper catchment. At this time, unexpected flood come to the city and erode the city, and we lost 256 people of deaths, 244 people are missing, 1,837 people are homeless, around 10,000 families are displaced. Damage to properties cost us 100 million birr.
Flood protection is therefore a priority for the Dawa, and on realizing that the city's flooding problem is driven majorly by human activity, the local authority is taking steps backward to correct the wrongs of over 2 centuries as the city seeks to attain the UN Sustainable Development Goal number 11 of sustainable cities and communities. It is on this pretext that on this day, under the clear sky on a hill overlooking Dawa city, men and women sing to cheer themselves as they lay the first wall of defense against flood disasters, terraces.
On the upper land, there is degradation of lands, soil fertility also less, and it's eroded by flood, and only rock are present in the land. Now we are undertaking a rehabilitation program for the watershed area to capture the water, the rains up there as far as possible. We have greenery areas to keep the ecosystem well and maintain and protect, and we plant plantations yearly with the Environmental Protection Department.
Today, millions of terraces, perhaps tens or even hundreds of millions, have been built by these local people working in similar manner. Seeing that unemployment was rampant in the city authority of Dawa chose to use the unemployed and the economically vulnerable population for the flood protection program, enrolling them into social protection program, thereby killing two birds with one stone.
We train them when they are working for the 3 years, but after 3 years they graduating. When they graduate, they move to livelihood program. For that, we prepare them life skill training, financial literacy, which is able can easily read and write, and which is easily to understanding, and they are choosing how they want to be after graduation, how they are want to be to earn money.
It is dry season now, and the local authority is using this window to clear the riverbed of excess siltation. On either side of the banks, a wall is under construction, another protection for the neighborhoods and enterprises like this one, which have known flooding devastation in the past. Planting of trees and grass has started in the city to further facilitate absorption of rainwater into the ground. The flood protection work in the Dawa is not an overnight imagination of may or may not work. It is based on a scientific scrutiny of past experiences and future flood risk projections. It is therefore a holistic environment-based approach that addresses all risks that the city could face in future. It helps that Ethiopia has developed over the past decade a comprehensive disaster risk management structure from the grassroots to the national level, grounded on policy and legislation. Plugging into this system, the city brings together different stakeholders to make their unique contributions in creating a safer city based on the Sendai framework, the global blueprint for reduction of disaster risk and economic loss. When people come together, it is said, great things happen. The story of Dawa is that of inspiration. People coming together to rewrite the history of their city, building resilience in order to mitigate the effects of danger of flood facing them and make Dawa a livable city. More importantly, they are proving that nature is not simply a victim, but also a solution. Protecting it and using it responsibly is a sustainable solution. Reporting for Africa Development Journal, I'm Juma Majanga.